Hey everyone, welcome to today's video. So today's video, I have two builds for you. Truly, it's basically similar builds, but two different ideologies and ways to run them. And this build, I credit to the gamer, the Viantis, I think. I did just a regular backup mission and I called for help. And this agent and some other agents joined my team and they were just melting enemy NPCs. So on looking very closely, I noticed that this particular agent was running a status effect build, which I had been working on one using Mad Bomber and the Acosta backpack, which today Mr. Jefford just made a video using, making a build up around that actually. I'd encourage you to go watch that. But I decided to go this direction and I decided to build it in two different ways, actually based on opportunity because, you know, some people might not be comfortable running the build the way I'm running it, so this might give them a different option. I'll show you both builds in the video because I have it on two different accounts. I'm here like in the same group with myself, and so it'll be easy to do it. So let me show you this version first. I titled this particular loadout Looking for Trouble because that's exactly what it is. This loadout is actually pretty fun if you actually use it this way. And this is based on just status effect and skill damage as your primary, secondary, core, and even regular attributes, and that's all you're going to be stacking, and you're going to be stacking skill tiers as much as you can. So I'm using 3-piece channel light, which I get 15% explosive damage for the first piece, 10% skill haste, and 10% status effect for the second and third piece respectively. And this mask has 9% skill damage and 9% status effect. I would be very happy both of them had the max roll, but we all know that's usually not the case in the division. And my backpack is something I'll encourage you to make your way to the clan vendor if you're actually watching this video in the week of April 14th. The clan vendor is selling a strategic alignment backpack that has 7% skill damage and something else. I can't really remember what the second stat is. I guess I should have done this build in the clan vendor before I started. Well, I'm just gonna go ahead and take a hop over to the clan vendor so I can show you the backpack. That way I don't get any messages saying, oh, it's not in the clan vendor. It is there right now as of today, April 14th, the week of April 14th. Here it is. You can purchase one for a grand price of 6,787 division credits. And then leads me to my chest piece, which is the main reason I'm actually showing you guys this build in two different versions. I'm running glass cannon on this chest piece because I want to gain extra damage. It just says any damage you deal is amplified by 25%, which is actually multiplicative. So there is no way I wouldn't advise anybody to leverage this amount of multiplicative damage. It's just too much to leave on the table. Now, some people might not be very comfortable doing that. That's why other options are available and you can run them. I only have 8% status effect here and 5% skill damage. It's not the best, but I have another one where I have a bunch of skill damage and also glass cannon. So back and forth, I'll probably be testing them, but I do enjoy all the status effects that I'm getting. So why not leverage all of the above into the build? That's my question for myself, and that's my answer to go with that. On here I have Wyvern, gloves, skill damage, and maximum roll status effect. Very good pair of gloves. Probably something that I would not be seeing for a while regarding how good this is. Mark that as favorite, please. Mark this as favorite. So on the day when I'm looking for room for gear, I don't go ahead and go delete them. That will be very sad. And then my holster is also another nice one that I like. It's a channel light holster. Also has 10% status effect and 8% skill damage, 8.8 actually. Only 1.2% off from the max. Nothing crazy. I'll call it one of those I can't complain type items. And then my golden gear knee pads, which has skill damage, and in this case it's got skill haste. Doesn't have too much to go with regarding that. Now, I wish my golden gear will allow for me to be more flexible and gain a skill tier so that I can now explore other specializations and how well other specializations will work for me. Now, the agent that I actually kind of adopted this idea from, he was using the firewall specialization, so he could use his flamethrower to be able to apply more status effect on enemy NPCs. And also myself on this particular account, I know many of you are saying, oh, my technician is not yet leveled up. It is well leveled up on my other account, but on this account, I just have not followed through a lot. So I've only just gone for the, the basics. I'll do my best to, get better at doing that, and all that good stuff. So character number 2 over here, I'll show you the build for that character when we're done with the weapons. And then I'm using Spike, not Spark. It's a different talent. This grants you 8 seconds, of 20% skill damage every time you deal a headshot. And then perpetuation as well. It gives you 50% status effect damage and duration to the next status. Now, granted, I do not like Spike. It's one of those talents that makes me annoyed because it doesn't have a good uptime. The best bet to go with the status effect build is perpetuation and using the send-off shotgun. This particular weapon gives you, while it's equipped and while you're in cover, it gives all skill damage and healing 30% buff for 15%. This buff is lost when exiting cover, can occur once per 60 seconds. So it has pretty much a 60-second cooldown, but a big uptime for 15 seconds. There's a lot of use to that compared to Mr. Spike over here that only gives you that for just 8 seconds. Now, you can also argue that it's 8 seconds, and when the 8 seconds is done, you have a faster refresh rate. So that's where the argument could be for both of them. And I guess it's whatever it is that you want to do. So, using the inspect mechanism that we have in Division 2, I can show you my second version of this build, which looks very similar, but it is slightly different. My mask also has status effect skill damage. I'm still using that backpack because I went ahead and purchased it. And then my chest piece, for those of you who may not want to use glass cannon, I'm using emphatic resolve, not because I wanted to, but because it's just what I kind of have. And this one says repairing an ally increases their total weapon and skill damage by 3 to 15% and 1 to 7% for self. That's all I was able to get for a chest piece. I don't have the Wyvern chest piece blueprint on this character, unlike my other character where I can craft just like crazy. That didn't happen. And then I have this gloves as well, China Light, skill damage, status effect, and also a Wyvern holster, status effect, skill damage, and then my golem gear having max status effect and crit damage. Somehow I thought it was wise to go ahead and roll armor on here. That's before I actually started putting the build together. So this piece pretty much is a failed project, unless I just say, you know what, forget it, I'm gonna go skill tier, and then that opens the door for me to be able to go explore other specializations and not be stuck with technician to try to get the extra skill tier that's also there as well. So this build ideology is something that anybody can put together. I have it on two different characters, as you can see from here, and I'm running them, and they're actually a lot of fun based on what I've actually tested. Now, this, my main character with the glass cannon, I need to go ahead and test this particular variation, and I'll put the gameplay. That's what you're going to see at the end of this video, and how I actually use it for those of you who are probably more concerned. But there is so much damage to be gained that I would actually risk being melted, and I will play safe. I'll stay behind, I'll chill at the back, and I'll go that way. Now, if you don't want to use glass cannon, there are other ways to go. You can go Mad Bomber. I have another Wyvern chest piece here that I was messing. Where's that Wyvern chest piece? I had a Wyvern chest piece that had Mad Bomber. I can't find it. That's crazy. Where are you? Show yourself. Oh my gosh. Okay, that's awkward. I had a Wyvern chest piece somewhere that I was messing around with Mad Bomber. I think I may have accidentally sold it. Actually, no, it's not a Wyvern chest piece. I take that back. It's a China Light chest piece that I rolled Mad Bomber on. Sorry. Everything else got like a moved and adjusted in different places, kind of maybe knocked another wyvern out, another china light, and put a wyvern in somewhere, in order for me to be able to gain that, you know, extra damage that Mad Bomber gives, and then pairing it up with my Acosta backpack to be able to gain more skill damage and all that, because this grants you an overcharge. And overcharge is definitely somewhere you want to be with your skills. If you look at, you know, the overcharge, you know, comparison, you have 100% radius when you get into overcharge with your chem launcher, which is crazy. I mean, you only have a 12% radius when you're using skill tier 6, which is really stingy in my opinion, because I mean, everything goes up from, you know, in twos with the radius, and then all of a sudden you just get 100% radius when you're in overcharge, and then your damage only goes up 20%. So I think overcharge needs to be a lot more worth it, in my opinion, to be very frank. And they also need to look at the ammo. The ammo is only locking down at 5. I think the ammo needs to go high, just like we have with the, where's the turret? If you look at this turret here, the artillery turret moves really high in regard to ammo count when you actually, let me show you this, when you activate overcharge. So that's what I was kind of using my overcharge for, and also rocking some status effects so that I could bleed enemies when they got hit by the artillery turret. And if you look at this item on overcharge, I mean, it goes all the way from 6 mortar rounds to 10 extra mortar to 10 extra mortar rounds. So my mortar rounds were going from about 10 max to 14, yet we're only going just to a value of how many here, from what, 4 to 5 by the time you get to overcharge. So I don't think that's actually really good. This needs to be worth more. It is powerful, don't get me wrong. I'm just saying, you know, for the amount of damage that it does, it can take extra ammo without scaling out of hand. Because if you look at this, whatchamacallem here, if you look at the artillery turret, each ordnance does about 2 million damage when you eventually look at it. And I mean, one boom, 2.6 million damage, an extra 4. Add that all together, that can scale up to anywhere from, if you hit your targets right, that's a potential, I'm not saying max, but potential 8 to even 10 million extra damage if you do an extra 4. So why not do that for the chem launcher as well? All right, that's the end of my video. I hope this was helpful for you guys. Stay tuned. Gameplay will either come at the end of this, or I'll put it on another video and a link in the description. So either one, you'll know by the time this video is live and available for you to watch. Thanks once again. Hit the subscribe button if you're new to this Gaming Daddy community, or if you've been here and lurking around and haven't subbed. And I guess I'll see you in the next video. Peace.